Hi guys, this is the second video of this Norton / Gould Eberhardt shaper. This is taking the rapid feed adjustment handle off. It can be very cumbersome. Took us a while to figure out how to take that thing off. Actually took a few days. We have a lot of different manuals on the thing and there's no information on this and so forth. And one of the things they put in there is that there's 2 screws, one above the other, which you would assume is like a Bridgeport, but we'll talk about that. All right, let's get into this. All right, this is the side of the 16-inch shaper. This is where your rapid transverse, which is this here, it's going to look like. That's actually the handle that goes on it. And it fits onto here. And while I'm over here, notice this thing does spin. All right. On the diagrams that are in the manual, you're going to find in your manual, it's going to be very similar through all the different years. We've found them pretty darn close. And this is the pile of components that all stack up in there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this piece here off and so forth. Well, as you get into it and as you start pulling things apart, you'll find that you'll have to go to this page and pull it up. I'll get back to that. This goes in here. When you get to yours, you'll notice these are going to be stacked on there like that, These come off relatively easy. There's a set screw there, and then it's a matter of pulling them off and so forth. They're pulling straight off, they're not threaded, but they'll pull off. Then you'll be stuck, and you'll be trying to figure out how to get everything apart. So, once you get to that point, on one side, you got an area that says 2 screws, and it's in that hole there. Well, that hole is about 1 inch long, deep, threaded. On the other side, 180 degrees, is another hole. That's a drive pin. That drive pin pins all the way into a couple of pieces, and it's driven in. You have to drill and extract it back out the opposite way to get it out. So if you get to this point and you think you pull that out, well, if you didn't find the other screw that's in here, that's where we got stuck. Because in a Bridgeport, what they do is they put 1 screw on top, you unscrew it, and then there's another screw, another set screw directly underneath. Well, in the case of this one, when we pulled it apart, we took off the top one, looked down about 1 inch, and all we saw was solid shaft metal. And we were like, okay, somebody was in here before us trying to figure out how to take this thing apart because ours had an issue. Somebody tried to figure out how to take it apart and took out the screw, just didn't put it back. And that's why everything was turning and it was loose on ours. So we're like, okay, then that's got to be the problem there. Well, come to find out, let's move the camera in a little closer to a different area. All right. Need to assemble some pieces here. Okay. By the way, this shaft is smooth except for one hole right in here. That's where a set screw goes into. All right, all that goes back into there. This would basically go over the top of all this. Okay, you start getting the idea here what's going on. Here's the golden egg. Right in here is a set screw. That's on the back side of this, in which what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at it from the front view. Well, you can't get to that set screw. The only way to get to that set screw is through one of these two holes. Well, the hole that says the two screws is what you got to do. Well, in our case, when we looked down through the threaded hole, all we saw was the top of the shaft, which was smooth. It's a matter of getting this hole lined up. And once you get that hole lined up, in which you have to move the bowl gear in the back side here. Once you turn the bowl gear around, and which turns this, then you'll be able to all of a sudden see the screw come into focus. And there's only one screw and it's into there. So then you'll stick your Allen wrench about probably an inch or so down into this hole to get to that set screw and extract it. Once you do that, it'll all come apart on you. It goes downhill from there. So anyways, I hope this helps. I hope it helps somebody else. Because like I said, this can be a cumbersome thing to get apart until you figure out where that hidden screw is and how to get it apart, and that you really do have something in there that's holding it back. Oh, let me explain one more thing while we're talking about this. Once you take off all this part of the whole, once you take off this part of this assembly and so forth, you may want to take off the back side of this. Well, there's going to be screws in here that hold it. There's also going to be a drive pin, a drive pin, and there was another screw hole. These drive pins, this is us, where we had to cut from the side and from the side with a reciprocating saw blade and cut it down. Now we'll extract these pins and so forth, but we were trying to figure out what was holding back taking this whole unit off and so forth. So this is just another area where they drive the pins in one direction, and you've got to drill and tap the top of them to, do the left-handed drill bit trick and extract them out of there, which is a real pain. So just thought I'd share. Again, hope it helps. Good luck.